for me. Any at all? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. We're talking about 494 today, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So, who wants to start off talking about 494? What did you guys learn? What's important from that class for event management?
I guess this class definitely took like the most planning out of any class I've taken so far. Like planning ahead, like spacing out tasks and making sure you get things done.
So 494 is facility management.
Oh, wrong number. My bad. I thought this class was 494. Okay, never mind.
We're talking about 494 and how it relates to event management, but
okay, never mind.
Halfway there. You just
I'm
left
not
out on the birdie.
numbers.
You left out on the birdie.
Yeah.
So what did you take away from 494 so far? Your facility management class. If you say nothing, it's all right. I understand.
I guess I could say it taught us
Not much.
what go in facilities. I guess like what made facilities more sustainable and help save energy and stuff like that. How you should build a facility.
Okay. So how does that then relate to event management overall?
Yes. You gotta use a certain facility, so it helps you plan when you're trying to pick a facility for your event, I guess.
Okay. True. Let's think about this. Very rarely in the event management space are you are you building your own facility for your event, right? So going off of Preston's said, very rarely do I have the money to build my own facility, of which I'm going to host my events in. Right, the only people who can do that, let's say the NFL, Major League Baseball, because Major League Baseball hosts events, at least 82 of them, or used to be, every season. NFL owners build facilities to host their events. But a lot of times we're going into spaces where we have to adapt our event to that space or try and find a good fit for that facility for our event, right? And I'll take this as our cake decorating class, our cake decorating event we did this past fall. We decided to do it at Hook and Barrel restaurant, which is right above 80th and Myrtle Beach. Nice place, not the best spot to host an event. But from a facility management perspective, you're going in and looking and going, yeah, this could work. This could. Honestly, I never looked at the facility before we even hosted the event there. It was their partner, so they said sure. But a lot of times you're trying to find that right venue, right? And I know my wife, when we were looking for our wedding, she visited 5 or 6 different venues to try and find what she wanted to be the best one for that event, right? So you're trying to match up what does that facility offer to you, and then how can you best accommodate it, right? That's kind of where event management facility planning comes into play. Whether you're doing a mud run and you need a park, whether you're doing different aspects, those facilities all play together. Risk management steps in here too, right? So there's different ways that all plays together. Let's think about what's going on in society right now. What's in the news pertaining to Major League Baseball right now?
I want to start back in May.
They want to start back in May. What are they planning to do?
There won't be dugouts. The players will wait in the they're gonna be in the bleachers. They're gonna stand 6 feet apart up in the bleachers, and they can't have like mound meetings except for like the head coach can like come out and replace the pitcher, but there's no catcher or pitching coach meetings. They're limiting those.
Okay. So it might actually speed the game up a little bit. I like the way that sounds. But let's think that's great for games to occur, right? What about how do we get spectators back in? Because that's where the event management piece comes into this. What would you need to do to a facility that's not built for social distancing? We're trying to minimize some of these contacts. How could you accommodate that?
Last what was it, Sunday, I took a friend who was living here with me. He's a coastal student. I took him to Amtrak, the train, to get him back home to Virginia, and Amtrak said that the train was only being filled to half capacity. So like the most amount of tickets they would sell was half capacity to account for the social distancing. So I don't know if they would want to miss out on the money like that, but it's possible for safety if the MLB wants to only fill like the stadium halfway or something like that.
Yeah, so that's the same thing is going on in all the stores around here too. The governor just issued his whatever worker home order, and in that it was you either stores could only have I think 5 people in the store per every 1,000 square feet of the store, or 20% capacity per the fire marshal. So if it means that we can get people back into play, because I was just watching a little bit of the coverage and they said until we have a vaccine fully developed, going back to normal operations probably won't occur. So you're thinking about, let's think grand scheme of things. How does that look for getting those people out there where they can't, I mean, if you're going to a game, part of the fun of going to a game is being there with your friends, right? And being one camaraderie, high-fiving, yeah, we did something great. So how do I make that happen? I mean, Coastal really has no worries for football because they pretty much fill the stadium to about 20% capacity usually, so we're good to go as far as that event management. But what precautions you as a event manager, outside of just attendance, but how would you maybe try and retrofit your arena or your capacity or your place to make sure people can come in?
They'd have to find a way to make sure like that not one certain entrance is like overflowed with people. So
Okay.
like depending on what section your ticket's in, like if say they did space it out like Alex said, like if you're in certain section numbers, you're like required to go in a certain gate to where
Okay.
like now it's like just out of convenience where gate you go in.
So what's the primary indicator that you have the virus?
Say it one more time.
What's the primary indicator that people look at to test to see if you have the virus?
You
Shortness of breath.
A shortness of breath,
is it fever?
fever, fever. So looking at what China has done a little bit right now for their malls, if you want to go to a mall, not only is it, I think, a little bit of the maintaining distance and still getting people back open, as we're talking about gradually planning back open, is it reasonable to think that you can put a thermal camera at entrances and have people walk through and see if they're in a normal temperature range? Like, you can't stop everything, but if someone's trying to walk in with 100-degree fever, you'd be like, nope, you're out. Like, that's, to me, logical. But you as the event manager have to, because think about the security screening process. When you go to these major sporting events, how do I get you in? I gotta launder you, I gotta get you through a metal detector, I gotta do all this other stuff and check your temperature. So you think queue times of making stuff come in, right? The facility management piece overall is just how do I then structure that? Because people waiting in line outside to get in. How does that look now? Kira, is that you typing?
I'm about to say someone's
Yeah, sorry, I'm making notes.
Just mute your microphone when you're.
Okay.
Sounds like there's like wildebeest running across the.
going. You're just going in on the notes.
So what do you? I mean, how do you guys think about how do we manage the lines of people?
Well, like 5 feet apart, like having barriers, like having things on the ground saying this is how far you can stand away from someone.
Mhm.
But like, will they listen? No.
Okay, so let's say you have a drunk crowd. Let's say it's a college football game, right? What this is event management's biggest hurdle. We have to have college football in the fall, right? In the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? Everything we've heard is we're going to be good to go for the fall. We're going to be good to go for the fall. Are any of you maybe not 100% positive that that could occur?
Definitely not.
I mean, let's look at the PGA Tour. Dylan, when the PGA Tour, when did they just move all the majors to?
First one's in August. No.
First one's in August.
Then
Masters is in November.
yeah, U.S. Open's like October, I think.
Okay, so, and that's golf. Where on a golf course, theoretically, people can socially distance as far as you want.
Mhm.
Right? Unless Tiger Woods is playing, everybody just wants to be right there by him. But still, people can socially distance. At a college football game, it's a little bit harder. An NFL game, it's a little bit harder. Do you, at say the NFL, who you have with you, I believe, 29 stadiums that probably have an average capacity of about 60,000. You make your money from selling tickets, getting people in, right? So you still want to have people come, but how do you make most of your money if you're the NFL or any of these other sports leagues?
Charging people to watch the game on television.
TV. You're charging the TV companies to essentially have the rights to film your product and share it. So you still need to put your product out there, right? Major League Baseball's thinking of moving everything to Arizona. Why does that make sense? Why are they doing it in Arizona and not Florida?
Tough space. It's humid.
There's no humidity in the desert. Come on now. Really, all the facilities are close together, so I think they're going to start with the spring training facilities. So the teams have a base, and then you come out and you just play because it's all around Phoenix. So the teams are just able to go one next to each other. But you can still put that on TV, and people will watch it right now. You just have to think through your facilities that you're doing and modifications. I'm hoping to be actually involved with the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That's a concern overall is, one, is this going to occur? How is this going to occur for the season? That's in December. People are going to start getting back together. What precautions can we take? Like, do you really see how you go to a game change now? Do you foresee that experience changing for you going to a game?
I feel like everyone's just going to be more precautious after all this because they don't want it to happen again. They don't want to be stuck in their houses again. So they're just going to be more precautious about just keeping yourself healthy at this point.
Okay. How many of y'all would go right now to a, I don't know, let's say the Charlotte Hornets are actually good, would go to a Charlotte Hornets game. Let's say the Milwaukee Bucks are coming to play Charlotte, and you want to go see them, or the Lakers are coming, or somebody, and you got a free ticket, and you could go. How many of y'all would go to that game, regardless if you're a basketball fan or not, would go sit in an arena with 15,000 people?
No.
No, right? So the sports industry, as much as we think we'll bounce back, because everybody's missing sports overall, right? I watch ESPN the Ocho on Sunday, and I kind of like it. It's fun. I watched the axe throwing U.S. Open. It's fun, but sports in general have to think about that natural apprehension of people to come back to arenas. We think it'll happen, right? We think once they open back up, people will come. But it's the same issue that Boeing is facing right now. Because how many of y'all would fly in a Boeing 737 MAX plane? You guys know what that is? Pay attention to the news at all? The plane that crashed twice around the world in 2 years? Okay. So, matter of fact, how many of y'all, when you buy an airline ticket, actually look at the plane that you're flying on? Anybody? I'm an airplane nerd. I love airplanes, so yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, I like that plane. I want to fly in this one. That is a natural apprehension that people have. They put that Boeing 737 MAX back into service. People are going to be like, I don't know if I want to fly on that right now because tell me it's safe first, right? There's always going to be people who are like, yeah, put me on the thing. There's always going to be those people who are diehard. I want to go back to the game, right? I think Spike Lee is going to be at a Knicks game when it starts up again. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. But how do you, as event managers, how do you convince people that coming to your facility and to consume your event is safe now? I'm asking hard-hitting questions, aren't I? That could be your topic to write on this week. How do you convince people, society in general, to come back to the game, to come back out to these arenas, right?
I feel like you need like a medical professional to like come out and say that it's safe to be in public spaces again, and then you need the league to. It can't just be like one team saying it's okay. Like the whole league would have to be on board with the decision to bring everybody back in together. And you need some serious medical professionals saying that it's okay, or else nobody's really going to believe it.
So which medical professional do you really need to say that?
There's some doctor who's like, he sent an email about it, I think today, or somebody, who's been like all around talking about it. I don't know who it is I can't remember who it is right now. If I find it, I'll say it, but Dr. Anthony Fauci or something like that.
Fauci,
yeah. Like he's been like the forefront about it. So
yeah, there's bobbleheads of him. There's socks with his face on it. There's everything. Like the man's turned into an overnight celebrity. Yeah. Okay, so you need medical professionals to do it. So it's one thing to convince, I'm going to say, the average guy to go back to a game. How do you get that guy to bring his family now? Right? Medical professionals to come out. I'll use an example. I have a buddy who, it's no secret I like to go golfing. I have a buddy I was trying to go golfing with. It was that week where spring break got extended for the Rona, and I wanted to go golfing. I tried to get him to come out. I had a tee time set up. In fact, I had a tee time set up for Thursday of that week, I think. No, Friday. For Friday, I was supposed to go Friday with my one buddy, and he canceled because he's got a wife and, yeah. And my other buddy, he canceled too, but they both have young children in the house. So, and really, golf courses are still open, I think, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, golfing is one of the more socially distanced where you put me in my own cart, I'm good to go. And I can stay away from people. The way most of us play golf, unless you get coronavirus from a tree, that's where most of our golf balls end up anyway. So I think we're good. But I wanted to go, but it's not just him. And he said, I want to go. But I would feel awful if I brought something home and got my wife or under my wife or newborn son sick, so there's elements like that at play. Because if you think about this, that population who will say it's safe, but ultimately, are they going to put the health of their family at risk? Right? No. So that's where it's I don't know. How do you guys handle that?
How to keep families at a risk?
Yeah. How do you? Because the question isn't just how do I get the guy back? How do I get the family back to the game? Right? That's no secret. Most sports spectators are men. So from an event manager standpoint, I need to get them back. I can make my facility clean. I don't know, maybe post videos of us sanitizing the whole entire building. People in hazmat suits with little sprayers spraying everything down to get people out, get outside in the great outdoors. But how do I convince, because I'm not worried about convincing the guy, right? How do I convince his wife, significant other, that them coming to the game isn't going to get their wife and kids sick? Then how do I get the kids out to the game? It's hard, right?
I just don't think there's nothing you can do right now. It's like nobody is going to say, "Yeah, that's fine," until it's totally over with. Like, and no one feels safe right now at this point. So, like, I don't think there's anything you could do to get a full family to a sporting event.
Not right now. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying, let's say in June.
But like, there's no telling of like what it's gonna be like in June. It could be a lot worse in June, or it could be over by June. So we
Okay.
we have no idea.
So let's say college football season, right? If you look at all the models, it's supposed to be pretty much gone or kind of eradicated at that point. Granted, we don't have a vaccine right now to handle it, but let's just say to get out to football. Because how is the attendance at college football games across the country over the past 5 years? What's the national trend? Is it going up or down?
Down.
Down. Thank you. The national trend is it's going down. So at that point already, if that's going down, and I just need to get people out, but where the virus isn't there, you're starting to hear, oh, we're back open. This is back open. We're bringing this back out. But how do you then combat that public information? Because that's you as the event manager. What can you do in your facilities, though? What is probably one of the easiest things you could install in your facility to help keep people in some right mind that they can do while they're there? What are you supposed to do anytime you go outside in public or you come back in, or what are you supposed to do with your hands?
Wash them.
Wash them.
You wash your hands. That's what the governor said. Just wash your hands. If you haven't seen that video, just look up Henry McMaster press conference. Wash your hands. But so could you put hand sanitizer stations all around your facility? Could you retrofit that so that people walk in? Hey, here's hand sanitizer. Like it's there, but at least it's a security blanket, right? Because you have to do everything that you can to get people back out. I personally see this as a great opportunity for sports organizations. Right? You have people who have been stuck in their homes. It seems like it's been 20 years, but it's only been a month, essentially, a month and a half, right? So you have that situation currently unfolding, and people want to be at sports. They want camaraderie. So now is a great opportunity for you as an event manager, as an organizer, to capitalize on that to get people back out, right? Pull them back out into your events. Now, you still have to make sure your event, and that's where marketing comes in, to make sure it's a great thing. But you have to make sure everything is in place and it has to work. Security-wise, still has to be there. If it's putting a camera up, I mean, I'll be the first to admit this. A lot of the security features at stadiums, some of them are just for show.
I would just say no, it'll probably work.
They work. But I don't know how many times people go through a metal detector and it goes stop, and people are like, yeah, come on through. Like, you don't want to have the. I mean, if we made TSA security or screening apparatuses at every stadium, we had to go in, put your hands in the air, watch the thing go around you, come through, get pat down. That delays the enjoyment of coming to a game, right? But if I have the, we'll say, illusion of security, then it makes people feel safer, right? So think about that as you, I don't know, kind of dive into this aspect of how do I change my facility or modify my facility to deal with this changing COVID-19 instance, right? I still have to get people back out. I still have to do certain things, but I need to make sure that we're still providing a safe and high quality environment for our spectators. So that's a challenge. That could be the topic you guys write about. Run with that. What would I do? All right. Any questions for me at all? Everybody still doing well?
No, but
No? I see you're still in your pajamas, so that's a start.
yeah.
And we started noontime workout sessions. Go outside. My wife, the dog, and I all go outside, so it's a good time. Yeah. Don't let the COVID-15 get you. No, the freshman 15, COVID-15. So, but no, just keep after it. Keep plugging along. Remember with your write-ups, make sure you submit them as a PDF, please, and make sure you submit them by the due date, please. Some of the easiest things that you can do. Please just get it submitted. All
So
right.
you want us for this one to write about how do we convince society to come back to games for facilities?
Sure. Absolutely. What would you change to your facility? How could you modify it? Think about the college football season. How do I convince people to come back? So, all right.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
What if they did, and this probably wouldn't work anyway because people could go on their own. But what if they did like stadium entrances like they do with airplanes, like by zone?
You could make everybody
Like-
show up there and
Like not having like, and I don't mean like the student section goes in together and then the upper deck goes in together because then it would still be there. You'd still have heavy lines. But like, what if you take one, like just I don't know, you have sections, you do one from each section and then kind of two, and then you make that all one group so it's kind of it's still even, it's still split up.
yeah, that's possible. One of the things that I would look up if I was you guys and trying to maybe assess this is queuing or staging of how people do that. What we've found is that if it's just a straight line, like if you ever wonder why there's always like you have to walk through and just curves back and forth, back and forth, back and forth places, that's called a natural queue. But what that does is it allows you to keep moving. And what we found is that if people keep moving while they're in line, they don't feel like they're in that big of a line. Plus, I can fit more people in a space, right, as I queue
Right.
up. But if people can keep moving, so how do you do it? And think about if you ever been to Disney World or Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios or any of those, where the lines always have just this big snake kind of feeling that goes through that you always have to happen. That's kind of the reason why. But then it could still allow people to space out. So think through how that could work for it. You're asking everyone to get to a state if you want. The problem with the airline style is every time you get on a plane, what does everybody do? when they go to board?
They all
Do you-
go in. They're like waiting.
They all stand in the big mass, right?
Yeah.
Even though they tell you stay in your seat until we call your zone. Yeah, right. Everyone's supposed to be huddled together because you want to be the first person in your group to get on the plane. So while that could work, I think part of it could go to the queuing, but also multiple scan points or entry points. Like, you still have the gates to a stadium, but with the mobile scanning that we can do with tickets, you could probably have 40 different scanners, right, Shannon? I don't know how many scanners we have for games. But
It depends on the gates. Usually 2 per gate.
so, but if we had maybe 6 per gate, and then you could easily space that out and go in different places so people can get in, and then they're going through the gate. So there's other options. All right. Just think through that. All right. So that's all I got.
Wait! One more question, sorry. General question. General question. Where's the Dropbox for the portfolio? Because I've been looking up and down the page and I can't find it for the life of me.
That's because I haven't posted it yet. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post it. If you have everything together, you can just email it to me if you have a
Okay.
completed one.
Probably by Friday that will be done.
Okay, yeah, just email it to me. That'll work.
Thanks.
So,
Okay.
all right. Anything else?
Mm.
Going once, going twice, and we're good. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.
Bye.